Here's what I see. I see a festival that never ends. Where you can be whatever you want to be. It's not your dream.
Welcome to Britain, and welcome to Forza Horizon 4.
It's your dream.
A very big thank you to the good people over at Microsoft Australia who have allowed us to try out the beauty that Forza Horizon 4 has on offer just a little bit early. Unfortunately, gone are the wide open sunburnt plains of Australia, making way for the rolling green hills and beautiful weather of the British countryside. Sorry, I had to throw that in there. Developer Playground Games has shown off their own backyard with this instalment in a beautiful way. The rolling hills, narrow back roads lined with small stone walls, and even the occasional flock of roaming sheep. Players returning to Horizon are not going to see a whole lot that they haven't seen before. Those new to the series are going to feel right at home very early on. But hey, if it ain't broke, you don't fix it. Controls feel to have been tightened up slightly from 3, probably due to now belting through some small one-way back roads. The core systems, though, are all still relatively the same. The map feels a little smaller, and as yet I've only seen the main hub. Doesn't look to be any more this time around. As previously, the map is a mashup of Britain with parts of Scotland, England and Wales all on show. Surprisingly, the old world feel that I would think you would get from going to the UK seems to come across very well in the visual styling and the little back roads and very tight corridors that you need to race down.
Here's how this is going to work. We're not sanctioned by the festival.
Gameplay is somewhere in the middle between an arcade racer and a sim, with all the usual driving aids that can be turned on or off depending on your preference. I've always found Horizon games to be more for the enjoyment than a flat out trying to set a blistering pace, so please keep that in mind. If you want a bit more ABS or stability on to help you feel like a badass drifting through corners, then go and do it. The awards have been tweaked, adding not only cars and cash for your winnings, but novelty items such as horns, clothing, and yes, now emotes. But there's nothing creepier than your avatar doing the Pennywise dance once you've won. Of course, the real stars of the show here are the cars, upwards of 450 of them, all beautifully recreated inside and out. For those of you with an artistic streak, liveries return with all new artistic promise that comes with them. Get out and create them, because I can't, and I just love to use them. I'll stick to what I know, and that's the mechanical modifications. There seems to be a bit more availability of wide-body kits for more cars, and you can now get lift kits for four-wheel drives to turn them into cross-country weapons. You'll also notice a new suspension setup from Forza Motorsport. Drifting suspension. It's time to get sideways. Just remember to tell yourself one thing. The VW Beetle that you have put rally suspension on, 20-inch rims and a 6.2 litre V8 while dressing it up to look like Herbie, it's done for science. For the first time an open world racer experienced dynamic season changed. You need to qualify for each seasonal event first, which is done by racing and raising your influence. Raising your influence can be achieved just by driving around, smashing into things, boards, drifting, getting sideways, doing all the usual stuff that you do as you run around, competing in events, and of course races as well. Once you have qualified for these events, seasonal change is done really well. Your seasons will be changing on a weekly rotation. Think a weekly challenge reset that you see in other games. Weekly challenges are also set out, each of them timed to coincide with those changes. So far, I've only really got one gripe, and it's very much a minor one. Each new season brings with it the corresponding weather. But the change in weather, it doesn't really affect the driving. It feels borderline cosmetic. The only time you really feel a big difference with the grip levels is when you get over onto the sand, and then everything's just thrown out the window. But that being said, visually the different seasons are a sight. Autumn coats everything in this beautiful orange hue. Spring and summer seem full of life, and the showers that go with it. But the biggest change in the whole area is during winter. Not only is there a fresh blanket of snow that varies in depth, rivers and lakes freeze over, giving you access to new areas and a new way to get to them. Unfortunately, at this early stage of the release, I was unable to get into a lot of the multiplayer stuff. I've now progressed through the first part of Horizon 4 to be a full-fledged member of the Horizon Festival. You can set up events, unlock world activities, and race with or against other teams. Plus, the new chat feature is as simple as a push of the D-pad to select. Unfortunately at the moment, being that there isn't many people on, it's mainly just people lucky enough to review, I haven't had much chance to interact with a lot of them. Overall, Forza Horizon 4 gives a familiar feel with enough new tweaks and enhancements to have fans coming back and newcomers enjoying the jump-off point. Forza Horizon 4 is releasing in Australia 2nd of October 2018 on the Xbox One, One S and enhanced for the One X, and I believe you can cross-play it on PC as well. Thanks everyone for listening and checking out our review. I've been Snooze. Leave a comment below, and I'll see you for the next one.